Krippin Virus, I Am Legend. We created them. In I Am Legend, humanity's downfall wasn't because of war or an accident. It was deliberate, a cure for cancer that mutated into a curse. The Krippin virus spread quietly at first, airborne, bloodborne, invisible. Early cases were written off as rare side effects. Aggression, seizures, increased metabolism, hypersensitivity to light. By the time cities started burning, it was too late. The infected, the Dark Seekers, aren't dead. They're alive, and they've evolved. Faster than the average human, stronger, more savage, but also terrifyingly smart. They coordinate hunts, they use bait, they remember territories and prey behavior. They are not just monsters, they are apex predators, stripped of empathy and driven by pure survival instinct. Their only weakness is the sun. UV radiation burns their skin to ash. Daylight became humanity's last sanctuary, but a sanctuary that shrinks every time another survivor falls. Unlike traditional zombies, Darkseekers don't rot into mindless husks. They adapt, they endure, they evolve. And when the sun sets, the last remnants of humanity aren't fighting for survival anymore. They're just postponing extinction. Alpha Virus, Army of the Dead. The Alpha Virus in Army of the Dead didn't start with a bite. It started with a secret military experiment, and it escaped just miles outside Las Vegas. The virus didn't just create mindless zombies, it created hierarchies. At the top are the alphas, faster, stronger, smarter, capable of basic communication, tactics, and even forming a society. Below them are the shamblers, the traditional mindless undead, but controlled, herded, and used like weapons. The outbreak spread rapidly inside Vegas. Once bitten by an alpha, victims don't just become infected, they evolve into another alpha, preserving intelligence and physical dominance. Bitten by a shambler, you become little more than walking, rotting muscle. Alphas are highly organized, using coordinated attacks, ambushes, and defensive patrols. They have their own rules, rituals, and even a king and queen. Their weakness? Severe head trauma, just like traditional zombies. But landing a clean shot against a charging alpha, armored in instinct and rage, is a death wish. Compared to outbreaks like the T-virus or rage virus, the alpha virus is more than infection. It's evolution, a predator species carving out its territory. White Plague, Game of Thrones. In Game of Thrones, death didn't just end lives, it recruited them. The White Plague was never biological. It was magic, dark, ancient, and unstoppable. Created by the White Walkers, this outbreak reanimates the dead into tireless, obedient soldiers. There's no infection, no incubation period. A White Walker raises corpses with a single gesture, and the newly created Whites attack immediately. Every man, woman, child, and beast killed by the undead army becomes part of it. The Whites don't speak. They don't think. They don't hesitate. They charge, climb, and overwhelm with blind, inescapable numbers. A lone White is dangerous. A horde is the death of kingdoms. Their weaknesses? Fire burns them. Dragonglass shatters them. Kill the White Walker who raised them, and their creations collapse. Compared to other zombie outbreaks, the White Plague is pure inevitability. It doesn't evolve. It doesn't adapt. It just grows, with every life lost on the battlefield. In this world, the real enemy isn't the dead themselves. It's the cold certainty that death is just the beginning. Green Flu, Left 4 Dead. The Green Flu in Left 4 Dead wasn't content with just wiping out humanity. It decided to get creative. At first, it looked like a flu. Sneezing, coughing, fever. By the time the first violent attacks broke out in the streets, it was already too late. Infected spread rapidly through bodily fluids and airborne exposure, wiping out cities within days. But this wasn't a simple zombie virus. It mutated constantly, spawning special infected, grotesque, specialized killers born to hunt humans more efficiently, hunters that pounced from the shadows, boomers that exploded in bile to blind and summon hordes, smokers that snatched victims from rooftops, tanks that turned alleys into slaughterhouses. Each mutation targeted human weakness, fear, isolation, disorganization. Traditional headshots still kill infected, but when you're facing a tank that can rip up concrete and throw it at you, good aim might not be enough. Compared to other outbreaks, green flu isn't just about infection. It's about natural selection in real time. And when the virus itself is learning how to kill you better every day, survival isn't a battle. It's a countdown. Necromorph outbreak. Dead space. The marker didn't just kill people in dead space, it recycled them. The Necromorph outbreak begins when the marker's alien signal infects nearby life, turning corpses into twisted monstrosities. It doesn't matter how you die. Disease, trauma, accident. The moment you hit the ground, your body becomes a weapon. Infection spreads through spores and bioorganic signals. You don't get infected the traditional way. You become reshaped. Necromorphs are violently fast, unpredictable, and horrifyingly hard to kill. Severing limbs is the only real solution. Destroying the head achieves nothing. In fact, headless necromorphs often become even more violent. Compared to other outbreaks, necromorphs don't follow rules. They don't degrade. They don't decompose. Every death strengthens the horde in increasingly grotesque forms. In most zombie outbreaks, the goal is survival. In a necromorph outbreak, the goal is simple. Escape the planet before it turns you into something you won't even recognize. Mad cow mutation. Zombieland. Zombieland's outbreak didn't come from magic, or secret labs, or alien spores. It came from a beef burger gone nuclear. A mutated form of mad cow disease that jumped to humans and turned the world into an obstacle course of blood, broken bones, and very bad choices. The virus spreads through bite wounds and blood exposure, with infection taking hold almost immediately. Victims don't shuffle. They sprint, tackle, bite, and rip through the living without hesitation. They're fast, they're aggressive, and worse, they're everywhere. Their weakness? Same as classic zombies, a bullet to the brain. But when they're moving at full speed, crashing through glass and howling like demons, a steady aim is a luxury most survivors don't have. Compared to the slow death marches of outbreaks like The Walking Dead or Shaun of the Dead, Zombieland is chaotic, loud, and completely unforgiving. And if you think you can survive by luck alone, good luck. In Zombieland, luck runs out faster than ammo.